Get things.
I'm ready whenever it is.
I've got one more thing to pick up that I bought from that file cabinet.
Okay, let's call to order a workshop meeting on this Monday, August 12th, 2024 at 3 p.m. We stand the pledge of allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call, please.
Counselor Miller,
Here,
Counselor Lakeland. Here. Counselor Proctor,
Here.
Counselor Baber,
Yes.
Mayor, you have a forum.
Okay, item number 4, and they are non-action items. This is a workshop, is letter A, discussion after action report, which would be the fire department. You guys would, please. That will be Fire Chief Heath Keck.
Mayor, members of council. I just got a quick brief on it. On the morning of the 17th, the South Park fire started. Upon learning of the fire, went up to a vantage point up on Camelot to assess the risk that it may pose. At that time, I made contact with one of Lincoln County ESO OSE guys who was also up there while watching the fire, determined to make a page for our members to head to the station for standby. The decision was based on the fact that it didn't look like the current efforts were making an impact. Upon arrival back to the station, the salt fire began. At this time, the Lincoln County OES office put out a county all call for both fires and established an area command. I initially was assigned to the Salt Fire Command, staged at our station were several vehicles from Glencoe, Hondo, Arabella, Alamogordo, High Rolls, and Duncan. These vehicles were assigned under my command to assist with structure protection and evacuations from the salt fire. Overall, including our members and vehicles, we had 19 vehicles and 48 people staged to protect us from the salt fire and the town. These crews assist with notification and evacuations on the first day. The following days, the out-of-town crews were sent to assist on the Southport fire with orders to return if the salt fire came any closer. Our members remained in the area monitoring the fire, ready for response should it be necessary. Thankfully, the fire did not make it to our area, and we did not have to use all these resources in the area due to the weather changes. The fire died down and stayed about a half a mile from our border, and in most places. This caused us to shift over our focus from wildland to flood mitigation.
Got it?
Can we have copies?
Counselors, do you have anything on this discussion? I will tell you this. Not just the mayor, but there were a lot of people very impressed with our fire department. Yes, sir. Counselor Proctor.
He, on the 20th, we were told on the 29th that the sirens would go off, I think at noon.
Yeah,
Check them. I did all of the work because I didn't hear it.
it would be on the 1st and the 5th, the 1st and 15th. Only ones working at this time. I'm in the process of getting the other ones worked on right
So which ones are actually down? This-
now. One up on Wood Lane and this one down here at the park,
Okay, and the other one's located back up in,
back up off of Merriam.
okay,
Now, during the fire, I don't know about the one on Merriam, or the one on Merriam worked. I'm not 100% sure. One up on Wallow, because it was fried. So I don't know if it got struck by lightning or what. This one down here did work during the fire, but hasn't since. but it's looking like, power coming in, one of the legs, because it has two 110 legs coming in. One of the legs is down because of corrosion, so. Got a new part coming for that, hopefully.
Who repairs that now? Our electrician?
Right now, our electrician is, but I'm
Okay.
working on getting somebody to come in yearly to inspect everything. So
Okay,
that way we can make sure everything's up to snuff.
so we have a time frame on maybe what you're looking at? Because that's the only thing we've got right now to let the community.
The one down here at the park, hopefully, we're just waiting on a call back from P&M. And that should be up and going. The one up on Merriam, I got parts out for order, but I'm waiting on one more thing to come back from Mary.
Okay. And if I may,
Yes, sir.
I was talking to our public works director out here a month ago, and I was down at the shop, just down there, looking at some of the equipment. And we used to have a telephone alert system about, I don't know, what, 3 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago.
And it did cost the citizens anything. I think we had to pay, what was it, $1,000, $2,000 for it?
About 2,000.
And they hit a button and it alerted everybody that signed up for it. And the reason I guess it was shut down is there wasn't that many people that signed up. If we could get something back like that, that would be a secondary, that'd be benefiting our community if we can get enough people to sign up. And so,
Joe Jarvis.
Proctor, Councilor Proctor, I have had the PO sitting in City Hall for a little over 2 weeks. We can get that approved. We have it all set up. We just need to get the PO approved and get it set back up with the computers and teach the new people how to set people up and we'll be ready to go.
so that's now, where would that button be to actually?
It's actually one here at this computer. Alan Viet has access. I would, and so would Heath. And it's really neat. You can actually on the computer screen, you circle the area you want, type in the message and push a button and it sends it to that area. So all of us would have access to do that.
And that's either landline or cell phone.
Yes, sir. And it will also do text messages and it will do English and Spanish, however they register.
Joey, is that system called Code Red?
No, ma'am.
Are you familiar with Code Red? And how does that work?
They're the same thing. There's about 25 companies that offer the exact same thing. Code Red's been wanting to set up a demo, but they won't get the price. They want to come talk to everybody. There's no reason to do that when we have a system already set up. We have to renew our subscription for $2,000 and move on instead of paying $13,000 to $20,000 to get it set up.
I have a downstairs phone line at my house and I don't use it, but it's the house line. It's been that way for 30 years. So I took down one of my phones that was dead and I exchanged it with the other one there. So I have this a call and it was on June 17th. And I listened to it and it said, "Hi, this is the Code Red system." And so somebody's got my number.
The county probably does. I don't know if county or village uses it. They'll have everybody's number.
So did everybody in the city get that call? I just got it.
I did. I got a text message saying evacuate. I got it.
I didn't get that.
But it would be beneficial for us. I mean, 2,000 is nothing. You know, we can let people know, water's gonna be off around the 3 of the day, or voting is this time. We can put anything y'all want out on that system also.
And is that an annual fee or monthly?
It's annual.
2,000 annual? Wow. that is
It's not bad.
That'd be something I think that we could talk about and look at.
And I can resend the PO. I can give it to Ally. She's been taking care of POs for us recently. She's been real good about getting them back to us. So you get rid of that delay and get it.
Thank you.
Before Mr. Kent gets away, do we have a community emergency response team, a CERT?
Community response team.
A community emergency response team, a CERT CERT. It educates people about disaster preparedness and, even people in the community can sign up to be members of it. I was just wondering if we had one.
No, you don't. Not at this time.
All right. let's do that. And can we get copies of your report? Your after action report, could we all get copies of that?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay, maybe the clerk can get these out.
Council Lakesville, I think Harlan Vincent is getting together to address some of the things that you just asked.
He's coming?
I think he's gonna have a meeting set up. I'll let you know. Okay, anything, Counselor Miller?
I just want to say I appreciate everything you've done and the public works to help the people. But announcements are beneficial. So anything we can do, did the siren go on the 29th at all? I
It'll
didn't
be
hear it.
either not on the 29th.
It
It'll be
didn't.
on either the first for the testing,
Okay,
unless we have an emergency. Now, I did a test to see the work that we had done to it. I can't remember the exact date it was. And, well,
Last week, it was like last Monday.
Last week, yeah. And found that it didn't work
it
with
did.
what work we done to it, so it's, I had to go to the next step, finding out what else was wrong.
Joey?
Mayor, members of council, some of the stuff he's talking about during the fire, after the fire, we had a major power surge.
Yeah.
It blew up a bunch of that stuff. It messed up some of our water production stuff. And of course, as usual, nobody wants to take responsibility for it. I mean, obviously, there was an issue because P&M replaced the two poles right afterward. But we've all got everything back up and the parts he's needing are on order. It's just the problem is the system is obsolete. So at some point, we're gonna have to find money to replace that siren system.
So why are we throwing bad money after?
Because we can throw a couple grand right now versus like $100 grand for a new system. So we can find some grants to apply for, to find a replacement. We gotta get something in there now so we can get it going.
So the call system would be a good backup
The
system.
call system would be great. It's just getting the citizens to sign up. Back when we did this 3 years ago, we told everybody we knew, and we had like 10 people sign up. So now we know we can print on the back of the water bill. Maybe we'll print some stuff about there in big letters and try to get them to sign up. It's very simple. They literally come to City Hall, give their name, their phone number. Do they want a text or do they want a phone call? And what language do they want? That's all they gotta give us.
I think after the fire and the floods and everything, this is Woken, Lincoln County, not just the two cities.
So first, for this bad for us, it's
See, if something we could do too is just go door to door with a
Yeah.
piece of paper explaining that stuff. And we can use some of my guys, gals, and we just go hang them on their door.
Or we can make, council can make it mandatory. Part of having an account for utilities is you will give us your information.
yeah.
I can't, the law says they have to sign the paper. I can't just put you on it without you signing. Because then it's an unsolicited call and whatever.
I appreciate you mentioning that because Joey, I had forgotten about that. Of course, along about that time, the COVID, and we were dealing with so many different things that caused some things to go by the wayside. But now I'm remembering,
And it costs
we
money.
made an attempt.
People weren't signing up. Why spend the money? We should try it again. If it don't work, we don't know what else to do.
Councilor Miller?
I was just gonna say, all the time I taught school, we had this call system. Whether we're at school that day or a delay or whatever, and it went out to all the teachers, all the employees of school, plus anyone that had children in school. So it does work. It's really handy. I think that's the way to go.
Very beneficial.
Everybody has a cell phone.
You know,
One or the other.
even the kids.
It works real well unless you're in public education in a high school. And those kids will figure out a way to even beat that system.
They do.
Where they, nope, they wasn't really absent. They had ways of tricking the parents. Counselor Baber, do you have anything else? Okay. And that takes us to, the next item is discussion on truck engine brakes. Counselor Proctor.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Put this in here, and I've spoken with the Public Works Director numerous times on this, and spoken with the Chief of Police on this numerous times. And just getting around to do it because I didn't know which way to really tackle it. And you just tackle it, get up and move on with it. So anyway, the city clerk is giving me the ordinance, and all we'd have to do is just add a line to it. Then it would go through the 2-week process, letting the the rest of the community know. If anybody had anything against it, which if we had truck drivers in the community, I'm sure they'd be against it, but there's no hill from the Ford House all the way to the bridge that's steep enough for a 18-wheeler to be using their engine brakes. So, I just, there, I've got,
Need to put some signs up for the truckers.
right, this, well, that's what I was getting to. Now then, the signs, depending on what we put on them, will range from 150 to about 250. We're gonna need probably, I would like to see about 6 on each side. Beginning on each end and then in between the hills. I've even heard them put their Jake brake on just in front of the museum going down that little hill right there. And that's totally asinine. It's 40 miles an hour through here. It picks up to 45. Just as you start down this hill, it does, it feet till you get around the curve. So that's, and you might say, because I live close to the highway, you say, well, you think whatever you want to. But when they turn them engine brakes on, you can hear them throughout this valley. It's just constant. It's like a siren, especially on the ones that don't have mufflers. So, and I'm sure that the chief can stop a lot of them, but he knows they're straight pipes and we need to assess as some kind of a fine. And I have no idea where that would come in.
Yes, Joey.
Mayor, members of council, I discussed with the district engineer from DOT this week. They will approve it. We have to give them a copy of the signs. It must have an ordinance number on the sign. And we have to give them a plan of where we want, and then they can decide if we can place them there or not, because it's in the city, state right of way. And they're good with it. The only thing he said caution was, and I think I've talked to you about this before, if there was a D10 going down the highway and a car stopped and we have that rule and he can't apply engine brakes and runs over somebody, then the city will be responsible for them not allowed to use engine brakes. He said that'd be the battle the city would have to fight.
Okay, sir.
Well, if he's going that fast, he didn't need to.
He shouldn't be going that fast in the first place.
Council Proctor,
You know how that goes.
Council Proctor.
Being a former truck driver for the city and a business my dad had, the only time you need your Jake brake is when you're going down a hill and you want to slow your truck down to maintain your speed. Okay, it's not to stop the truck. That's what you had Johnny Barr, Jake Barr for, and your brakes on the bottom, keep overheating your brakes. And that helps slow the truck down. It's not going to stop the truck on the dime. You kill the engine in gear and it's still not stop that truck.
I'm just letting you know what he told me to
Right,
tell
right.
you.
I understand. I'm just saying that if he wants explanation behind it, I'd be glad to talk to him. And I think the chief has seen some of these trucks come through here. Just telling the city clerk, the most offenders are is these cattle truck haulers. They, for some reason, I've got a motorcycle that's got loud pipes on it and I don't run through the town popping them and all that. I mean, it's, I just, anyway, we can, I will work with Joey on this and try to get us come up so that by the next meeting that we can, at the end of the month, have a price that we might be looking at. And
We have the money, Public Works has the money in signing before to cover the cost of these signs.
If you would go ahead on that one, there's always one, at least one problem, and it sounds like this could be an insurance thing. As we know, all of us know this, people love to sue municipalities
Well,
because that's where the most money is, and if nothing else, settled out of court, you know, and that we hate that, but municipal league is going to do that. So we maybe need to look at what could happen with the insurance part of it. But the DOT says they're okay with that exception that you mentioned about insurance
they said it's
lawsuit.
just know that we're on the hook. I mean, because it is a federal highway, it's not a state highway, so that's the only issue. They were fine with it. They just want to know exactly where they're at, how high they are, how far they are from the sidewalk, and then takes a permit with the state to get those put in, which normally I can just put them in. They don't really say much, but when I had to call and ask the question, I got drilled about the permit. He said, by the way, you don't ever get permits. I said, yeah, I really don't care to get them because they want you to have an engineer stamp to put 4 signs up. To say that they're properly height, properly distant from the sidewalk. You don't want to pay an engineer out of that.
If they would be the same height as a speed sign, that's a legal height.
They want all that information. So we'll deal with it.
I'll get with you and
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
Counselors? Okay, let's go to the next topic. Is item C is discussion regarding emergency management. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I did put that on the agenda.
Yes, I remember, yeah. And of course, we already had that
Yeah.
plan.
And I just was real concerned because no announcements. A lot of people didn't hear anything, didn't know what was going on. But if we can get this call system working and the sirens working, at least that would be some announcements. But if we don't have that working, I would definitely suggest that the city number is transferred to somebody that knows what's going on, just to advise the people. Because a lot of them didn't hear any kind of announcements. And I
Well, I don't
just
know
was
how
real
they could have
concerned.
missed it, that those guys that came through with that loudspeakers in those vehicles. You could hear that all the way to Hondo. And they didn't ask you, they told you. So they were driving through the neighborhoods, but we can look at that too. That's what this is about.
We also.
That's like me getting up on the church ringing the bell though.
Yeah,
Everybody ain't gonna hear it.
I just wanted them to be able to call and see what's going on, but you know.
Which way do I run?
There's too many roads in this town for them to hit every one of them, I'm sure. That's true, but
Yes, Heath.
I had every truck from Arabella, Hondo, Glencoe, Alamogordo, Donegan, all those trucks were out there when we went out to tell everybody to start packing and heading out. And there was really only a time difference of only really 20 minutes from the set to go. So, I mean, when I put it out for everybody to get set, it was 20, I don't even think it was 20 minutes, pretty close to 20 minutes. And we switched it to go. So, and that's when I had it. And then also on top of that, we had Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. We're also down here. State Police was also down here hitting every single road. So, the trucks that I had with Arabella and Hondo and Glencoe, Duncan, I had them all staged throughout, most of them on this side. Because if the fire was gonna come, that's where we were gonna get hit first. But, I know they went throughout the whole town. So,
well, some of them said that they heard them be prepared to evacuate,
yeah.
to get ready on Monday. And then there was no evacuation until the 17th on
No,
Tuesday.
that very first day when everybody was told to be prepared, 20 minutes later, roughly, 20 minutes later, it switched to go.
Well, a lot of them didn't hear that one, the second one.
Joey, what you got?
An easy way to solve this, it's just not easy, but back when, years ago, our computer company, which we don't have now because they didn't do a good job, but the lady that worked for them was a public service announcement person for the city.
Yes,
We could find somebody again like that just like she does, that she puts all their posts out, it's news, does all the broadcasting, has the information. And if the messaging system we're trying to get won't be enough, then find somebody to be a public service.
well, she used to do that for Red Oso Downs.
She did good at that, but she didn't do a very good job on the internet, on the websites. I'd send her something and it would take 2 weeks to get something posted that I needed tomorrow because the water was going to be shut off.
Well, could she just do the emergency announcements like she does for Red Oso?
Possibly, I don't know. I mean, that or somebody that works, I mean, I don't know. There's people out there that do this,
Okay, let's,
that are good at speaking, that won't get us in trouble and say something wrong. And
yeah,
that gets the facts and doesn't give it, here's.
because they're public announcements.
Yes.
You know Jerry Cordless,
Hmm?
he's the one that does all of that. He's the one that handles the EOC, all of that. He can tell you how to hook you up. Cause he handles all of it.
Yes, Ally.
Out where I live,
we were ready, and when we went to go, the internet went out.
Right.
So we weren't able to access anything. The sheriffs went around and did the same thing they did here.
Okay,
That's how we found out.
You found out. Well, there's people that don't get the announcements, and if they had a place to call or listen to public announcements somewhere, you know, it would help. This is a first, like I said, for us. We've never had one this bad. So
And
we're in working progress towards fixing it.
maybe something like if we have this situation again, it could be a mandatory deal, like a meeting between the police chief, the fire chief, myself, and a counselor or something. But we can't, people gotta remember, we're not the village, we're not out in the border. I hear like you talking about CERT. Find me a city in New Mexico that has CERT that's our size, ain't gonna happen. We don't have the manpower or the funding. But at least like next time, maybe we could meet in the mornings, every morning at 7, have a discussion of who does what, you know, and go from there. You know, because Heath was running his butt off, got 4 volunteers. I mean, he's gonna have to be with them doing the job, not wearing the white hat sitting in the EOC like they wanted to. Or the chief, same way. I mean, we got 2 officers, the deputy chief and 1 officer, that's all we got. So people can't sit around and do the EOC part or EOM. But I think if we had a meeting first thing every morning or something, a briefing, we could probably handle.
Get some volunteers to help out or something.
Well, they're both working chiefs, and I appreciate that.
And this is a lesson for all of us, and
We never
do
had
better.
this. This is,
We can do better. Learn from it.
And how do we get this out to the public? So this emergency operation plan that I've never seen. That means that 2,800 other people have never seen it. How do we get that out?
If you get the phone system in, then you can get it out. That's the reason to having a system put up and then a backup.
Yeah, but this is kind of like a fire drill. The plan, you need to know what the plan is.
You can put it on your city website so people can access it.
Website, they can be available at the front.
And everybody don't need this. They just need a keep it simple, stupid plan.
Yes.
That's all they need.
Give too much information. it's too
Yeah.
convoluted.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a.
Even for us. You're like,
That was an acronym made for the Marine Corps.
Oh, you think the Marine Corps made that up?
I think by that last man like that. You know?
I have a question for Mr. Keck. Did you keep track of your volunteers' hours, the hours each volunteer put in?
Yes,
And is there any way we can pay them?
I don't know at this time. Right now, I'm
Volunteers.
really-
Nope, I think that we talked about
We
that
have
last
been-
time, and it comes under, excuse me. Last time we talked about that, it was,
anti-donation.
donation, any donation, thank you.
It's a little bit different. So are we going to be getting some fire money in some?
They agreed if, I think they'd only pay your people for the 2 days, is that what I understand?
I believe it was the 3 days.
3 days
Yeah.
out of the whole time they sat over there.
Yeah.
So we
Because
can pay you guys a little bit, the volunteers?
No, not yet.
That's
I
what he's
gotta
trying to
figure
say.
something else out.
Auditors
There's
are-
another grant that allows me to out of the fire marshal side. But it's paperwork pushing, so that I'm gonna try and figure out how I can do something for them.
You want to borrow my genie?
Would that be FEMA money or something like that?
No, it'll be state money,
State money.
but it's a grant that's pretty much issued every year that we can use for like advertisement and little things like paying some hours towards the volunteers and stuff like that.
Yes, Counselor.
I support Heath on what he's just now saying there, because every morning, starting Tuesday morning, I was over there. And either Heath or Chief Bryant from Glencoe went to the meetings, the OC. And wherever they went to go to the meetings at. And they'd come back and they'd give a briefing to everybody, and they were told to stand down. When the flood started coming, that's when these guys had to go out and stand on the bridges and alert the swift water rescue people that we got people in the water here. Well, where's the swift? There wasn't no one staged right there except these guys. So there's a system, there's a works in the system that's going to allow us to even send some of his volunteer firefighters. They're going to come here teach that course. And I think it's like $11,000 for like 24 people. They'll teach that course. So his people will be able to do something besides watch somebody float down the river. You don't want a fireman jumping in the river trying to save somebody, then you lose 2 people. So, and it's hard to tell a man that can't do that because they think they can and they will. So there you lose 2 people. So I haven't heard any more about it. Have you?
It's still, yeah, it's still in the works. It's actually, they just talked about it this morning. They haven't had it. It's not a set date yet, but when it does come, they're looking at doing the paid departments first before coming to the volunteer side.
Right.
So,
Well, that'll be good. I know they have to do the Mescalero Fire Department,
Reno, so
Mendoza, probably Capitan, Carlos and all those people. But that's something good to do. Then we won't have to rely on someone else staying on a bridge and not being able to do anything.
Mayor,
Yeah, that bridge there on Parker. I was down there way after dark. Joey, you had people, and it started to rain again. As soon as I got there, it started again. But those 3 of your guys, when I first saw it, maybe more later, counselors, they were standing on that bridge with I guess posts, shovels or whatever. And they were on the upstream side. And that bridge was catching all kind of debris and they were banging on that, pushing and shoving that stuff underneath. I couldn't believe it. As dark as it was and they were out there doing that. If one of those guys had fell in, might have been able to catch him at a Hondo. Because that's just about the situation, but that's how dedicated some of our employees are. They're just gonna do those kind of things. And they were doing a good job because they got a lot of that stuff knocked loose in the dark. Yeah, any other?
well, I just wanted to say that Monday night, the 16th, they had those fire trucks ready all night long. And I saw them from the porch and I actually saw them in the morning. Some of them took a nap on top of that fire truck. I had never seen anything like that. They were ready to go and ready to save lives all night long. I know that.
Yeah, we have a tendency to look at a few things we didn't do. As opposed to the things, we have a tendency to do that most of the time, some of us. And we have people that are doing so many good things. But it gets swept under the bridges like that debris. The negative seems to be the top. So anyway, you guys ready to go to the next topic? Okay. Next one is item D is discussion update of current status of the museum. Councilor Proctor, that's your favorite subject. Museum.
I didn't know that.
Museum.
I didn't know that.
Councilor Baby's favorite.
Oh, what?
I didn't know that either.
We
Oh.
went and looked at the offices down there, both of us. If the air was blue in there because of the way we were talking, just all the phones worked, all the computers worked, and when they left that, everything's just laying out over there. There's no,
Yeah.
nothing.
That has been a problem for many, many, many years. This is nothing new. It's always been a constant problem. And I can remember when the city was paying $150,000 a month, every month. And that was in addition to what R.D. Hubbard was paying. It has been pretty expensive, millions, not thousands.
Everybody was living outside their means down there.
Pretty much.
Yes, sir.
Everybody had an assistant. for everything.
Exactly. My question is, when can we do something with it?
Okay, so I'll give you a status of where we're at. As most of you know, FEMA, the emergency management, everything's in that building. Everything's functioning, everything working. The engineers are almost, the architects are almost done with the city hall design. And their estimate right now is 1.8 million to build the new city hall.
Okay, where are you building that at?
It's inside the upper level of the museum.
After y'all have already fixed that, we're gonna blow another million and a half.
We've not fixed anything in the upstairs. We have not touched it. The money we've already spent has been fixing, replacing sewer lines, stuff like that that was collapsed, rebuilding all the bathrooms. They're all new.
Right.
All the bathrooms, but everything on the upper wing would be the new city hall, which is that where you come in from that lower parking lot, the council chambers and then all of city hall.
And Councilor Baber, I think, Joey, stay with me on it because you know things I don't. That has been grant money. I mean, so that, so much of that's not costing us anything.
Yeah, but everybody's gonna be freaking died and in the ground by the time it's finished.
Well, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, you know, it could be. But we have, okay, so 10 years ago, this was designed previously for a new city hall parking lot. It was over 7 million 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's why we went this direction. If we can get a new city hall, better parking, more room, use it to offset the cost of keeping to open the museum back up for 1.8 million is their estimate right now. We
And
have about $1 million, between 900 and 1 million already sitting there, cash money. We'd have to go after the other $900,000 in either a 1% loan or.
I just can't see 1.8 million up in that top
You
piece.
gotta remember, everything's government. Instead of being $200 a square foot, it's like $900 a square foot to do.
Okay, but why can't we go in there and put
You can't.
dividers and stuff instead of everybody having their own
You
little
can't,
speed
you
off?
have to have all this air quality stuff. The LIPA for the lights has to be, if you build something new, it's gotta meet. You have to have the bulletproof entryways. It's a lot, and I understand where you're coming from. But you can't, it's like putting a a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. It ain't gonna work. You have to meet the requirements. That building's not ADA compliant for part of that stuff, so that has to come into effect.
What about the bottom of the floor that goes like this?
That is sturdy as can be.
It is.
You know, the crazy part is, we had a floor survey done. So that building was built on typical metal building. Those piers have not moved 1 inch. They came in there at a later time when the skating rink was there and poured a 4-inch slab and never compacted the soil right. And so the water runs off one side of the building, was running under the building, causing that floor to do that. We have a quote to fix that, but it's about $500,000.
Oh, I know.
So I've kind of left it alone because honestly, it ain't affecting nothing. The building's structurally sound. We've had engineers sign off. We can do something eventually if we ever get time to fix the drainage in the front. We've done some, but not enough to stop that. And then when you put exhibits in there, you don't see none of that. When it's wide open, yeah, you can see it, but you stuff it with wagons and artifacts, you don't see none of that.
Counselor, all of this.
But there ain't nothing in there no more.
But there's still,
All the racehorse stuff is gone.
that's because the racetrack took it. Every bit of that they took out.
And I got people calling me wanting their gun collections back.
Because people are running around speaking without any information. I had Shane Garner call me. He said, I was told by somebody with the city that y'all were gonna sell all my guns. Donate. I said, no, sir, that's not true. The guns are still sitting there. As Soon as we can do something and get it open, they'll be back on display. We're not selling anything. We got 2 rooms that y'all haven't seen that are completely full of artifacts that we keep locked. We don't want anybody to have keys.
Right, but if people want their stuff back, we gotta give it back.
Only if it was donated on that term.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Garner's, actually, he can't get his guns back. They were donated to the museum. They belong to the museum.
But if the museum is shut down for so long,
There in the agreement, it doesn't say anything about it. So like Deanne Stradling says, if we were to shut the museum down, city has to pay to shift every bit of Ann Stradling's collection to another museum,
Yeah,
which would be probably $1 million at least.
and I think that's Bill Smith.
so you're saying that
It has
the
to be a
museum owns
Smithsonian.
their guns now?
Yes, they do, because they were donated, and given to the museum. He didn't let them on loan like the Ann Stradling collection. There's a couple other ones. We've had, Mr. Goodlow, one of his chuck wagons that passed away. His kids came to get it because it was just on loan, the chuck wagon. We can give those back, the items that were donated. until-
I just don't understand what there's gonna be in the museum to walk in there and see.
Everything that's there now.
Oh,
plus-
my word. Then you haven't seen it all.
There's a lot.
Well, they got the wagons
You
down there.
haven't seen it all.
There's
There's
probably-
13.
I mean, I was there when they put the first frickin' starting gate in
He
there.
said, what he's saying is there's 2 rooms full of stuff that none of us
Yeah.
have seen.
There's $13 million worth.
But all the racehorse stuff. is gone.
So why don't, cause you get along with it, why don't you get Rick, to give us some of that stuff back?
Where's it at?
The racetrack has it, it's in their hall of
Well,
fame.
in their museum, they have
They
their own.
took that and a couple, anything to do with racing, they took with them when they finally moved out and the city took it over.
They're not gonna give you nothing back.
They took all Nick stuff, all Jackie stuff, all that stuff.
All of it, they have every bit of it.
Good luck in getting that
Now,
stuff.
who took it?
It was the foundation, which is, what's his name, used to be the mayor in Rio, so I can't remember his name.
Councilor Lacewell, you got,
Well,
They-
you're asking Ellie
They're the
about
ones that took it. I wish they wouldn't have, because it'd be cool to still have that exhibit. But we have like an antique, fire truck that's actually the fifties model fire truck that we can put back out on display that still runs and drives. We have one that's drawn by horses that's a fire engine. We could build a.
But how many years has that museum been open? And even when Hubbard died, they left 10 million to run that sucker and it don't pay for itself.
I think Mary would have. to
This is the way of Bill.
But,
putting
okay,
city
so it.
Hubbard's money ran out.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it ran
That
out.
museum costs $300,000 to $400,000 a year to keep the doors open, and that's not even doing anything to it. Is what it was doing. But the vision we've had is you don't need all these high dollar people working there. There's no reason for it. You could have, one or two, maybe three. People can walk into the front door where you meet City Hall and they can buy a ticket. They can walk to the museum.
Right.
You don't need a $20 door reader. You don't need a $20 gift shop. They can get it out of the gift
Or
shop.
somebody with $100,000 manager salary.
Right, you don't need none of that. I mean, realistically, we probably can handle it. I can't guarantee it. I know my guys can move the exhibits. We're not certified in it, but I bet we can find a class to teach you something about it. It's either that or you have a building that's got $14 million in inventory. What do we do with it?
Rent it out and have a concert and that sounds good.
You know,
What's that, 3 times a year, 4 times a year?
He's the one that moved all that stuff. White gloves, the whole thing. He knew how to move all that stuff. He made all the fiberglass. It's a 1/2 inch stick going around all of them. He's down in the valley. I don't know where he lives here in Red Oaks or not, but he's the one that can.
And maybe you hire one person that has a degree in that.
Well, besides that,
But you don't need, every one of those offices downstairs were filled with people that had $25 and plus an hour jobs, We couldn't afford it. I mean, when I started, we were putting $1 million a year. And Public Works was still having to go there and help the guy cut the grass and paint and stuff, because he even had a maintenance department. We were still having to help. So I think if we scaled it back and a lot smaller museum, maybe we can make something work and get that open and from City Hall.
Is the wine cooler still downstairs in that one?
Yeah, some fire started in there sometime, burned the electrical up that way years
I
ago.
got chastised for too much overtime, so I didn't lock it up in time. People that stayed late, you had 5 of them. And they're down there drinking them $80, $90 bottles of wine, till 7, 8 o'clock at night.
well, the facts are this, it's the one attraction Rio Dosa Downs has. And it's a beautiful tourist attraction.
The facts are, we
We can keep it in, that's the most photographed
They should
place
let
in the
somebody
whole
else do it.
state of New Mexico.
Them horses are.
Yes, and the museum, it was a going thing for a long time.
Well, you can help me out on this, Counselor. I know you'll probably be able to. And by the way, that straddling had to go to a Smithsonian
Yep,
certified museum.
on our dime.
So that's in addition to all the other stuff.
Well,
So at any-
there's stuff to think about too, like the
Yeah.
horses. Me and John went through a deal this year with horses out front.
Well, here's,
It's gonna cost about $20,000 to maintain them horses. They're starting to go bad. At some point, we're gonna have to get money to do that.
We can't get one of the colleges to come in and do
The
that.
colleges who came to us and told us they were in bad shape and who to call. It takes an expert, which is Dave McGarry's wife now, he's since passed away. And she was gonna give us an agreement that, the initial, and then it was a small fee after that to keep them maintained. But how we let them go, and then at some point, somebody put regular paint on the Appaloosa's rear end and it's gonna come off. I'm not an artist, I don't know about it, I just. try to
It'd be cheaper to put real horses out there.
Keep the grass mowed, right?
so I'd like to go back to Counselor Miller, because I know that the museum has been special to her over the years. So if we take it down to the very simplest thing, counselors, at some point, let's decide, are you gonna build a new city hall? Because this one, its days are numbered. We all know that. So it's going, and there's room in the parking lot for a new museum, but it's gonna be a, what,
City Hall.
I'll just say a plain city hall cinder block construction. That museum, and I've heard so many comments just in the last couple, 3 years. It will cost less than building a new one in the parking lot. Plus, as Councilor Miller is explaining, there is, the beauty of that place, if you look at that, there's not, we would have a city hall that no other place,
Unique.
they'd all be envious of us. So, but that's what, one of the things you guys may have to eventually decide where we want to
We're
go.
at the point where
Councilor Proctor,
You're talking about $1.8 million and we got, say, half of that put
we got
back.
670 that Harlan gave us last year, and we had 500 from the year before, and we spent like 280 around there for the architecture. So the remainder of that, so yeah, we're in the high 900.
Okay, just on a hypothetical question here. How, now, I'm not asking months, I'm asking how many years before we can be sitting in there having council meetings?
The building can be built in a year. The funding, it takes y'all making a decision saying, let's go apply for a loan, or how we're gonna get the other money, and directing Mary to go after it, or I'll apply for the loan. And getting the money together.
We're just getting by as it is.
We're just getting, exactly.
Well, I mean, so how can we afford to go? I mean, we got places that we have to fix that's flooding and things like this. This is things that I think we need to look at,
Agree.
prior to,
I agree with that, but how's that gonna look when you've given, your House of Representatives have given you $1.5 million already?
Ready to put in it.
I don't know how to fix that problem.
Well, I don't either. But I'm just saying that we need a hit list, follow the hit list and move on. The hit
Well, I think
list
it's-
means 1.5 years or 2 years from now, we got that. then
So be it. Right, and we can continue to ask, and there's some other places.
There
we can
is
ask.
money for city halls. There is money for city halls.
Yeah, but they're kind of like the parks. The parks, I just applied for a park grant. There's 7.5 million for the entire state.
Is that,
Albuquerque's gonna get 7/8 of that,
yeah.
you know. There is money, but there's so many loopholes, and if they're federal, there's 25% matches.
Well, we're still saving over 6 million by
We are,
using this
we just gotta figure out.
instead of building another one.
You know, I'm saying it's not a good idea. I'm just saying that we need a hit list. There's things that I feel that might be, to me, be more important right now. And,
Double the size of public works.
you know, that's
Right? No, I feel the same way. I mean, the city hall doesn't help one bit, but this is what I was tasked with. It started in Gary Williams' regime, and we continued on. Because if not, what do we do with the building? We've got $14 million of inventory. We're paying a $5,000 a month to heat the building. What do we do with it, you know? Nobody's gonna buy it, we won't pass inspection to get a loan on it. You know, it's just a bad situation all the way around. So that was why I tried to fix it, try to use it.
The state closed it. We didn't. The state closed all the museums in all of New Mexico.
You know, we've talked to the village, we've met with the village many times in here, and they want to use it for events, you know.
That's what I'd like.
But it's just like it always is. It's gonna-
You talking about that village?
Yeah, they don't benefit us.
I'm tired of crawfish. Yeah.
And you know what? We had weddings there. We had
I went to prom there.
proms. We had.
I seen Charlie Daniels there.
But I mean, recently,
Yeah.
that's when. Hubbard-
we had a lot of programs there.
Yes,
Even
that's right.
birthday parties, all kinds of stuff.
So yeah, architecture's done. I mean, they'll have us plans in a month. Y'all get to review them, yay, nay, sign off, not sign off. And from there, it's up to council and finance where y'all want me to go with it.
Wow.
But we got 670,000 that needs to, whether we use it to do the demolition and some construction, I do not want to give it back. It makes those people in Santa Fe mad if you give the money back.
How long before you gotta give it back?
I believe it's December of 26.
So we
Not a whole
gotta
lot of
use it.
time, but sometime.
So we gotta use it before then. or
You know, we could use the other one, the one for the architecture expires in either June of 25 or December. Maybe we use that 200,000 to do the demolition and have it prepped for new construction. I don't know. We gotta use them up.
Or do we need demolition?
What more?
All that stuff, like at that upper level has to come out, the sheet rock has to come out, there's no insulation in the ceiling, so they have to insulate the ceiling before new ceiling put in. Bathrooms, I mean, they have to run water lines for,
And this is all grant money?
every bit of it's been
Then
free.
why can't we just go ahead and get it done then?
We can, but that's gotta come to y'all first, I need to know which
Let's
direction.
bring it.
We already okayed all the bathrooms.
The bathrooms are done, but the
Oh.
other stuff. We need a plan first, we need y'all to approve the plan of the architecture before I say tear
And we-
out this wall, because y'all might say, no, I don't want that, and so that changes.
We do have the plan already.
The
No.
plan should be here within a month. They,
Okay.
supposedly the architecture got hacked, lost everything, they got it all back, we should know something in a month.
Cause they wanted our ideas.
Mayor, I think Mr. Keck.
Yes, ma'am?
I think Mr. Keck had a question.
If we did take out a loan for it, couldn't we do kind of like he said, Charlie Daniels came down, couldn't we do venues like that out of it?
That's what I'm saying, that, where the wagons are downstairs, that's bigger than the one at the end of the Mountain Gods.
We could have all kinds of programs there. They always did.
Yeah.
Where do we put the wagons?
I went to more programs there than I went to anywhere in Redosa.
Right, I mean, something's gotta bring in money.
Yeah.
So bad.
I've been in there a
There's nowhere to
lot.
put anything else.
It can be an event center, it can be we had meetings. I had the state, New Mexico Clean and Beautiful meeting there.
Lots of possibilities.
We've got a lot of things there.
Turn the bottom floor into a dance hall and a bar.
Then we'd get the winos. We don't.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is good. At least, we may not have any answers right now, but counselors, you're more aware of the problems that are gonna go with this, but nothing is easy in government.
Well, and just another thing on that with the FEMA deal, because I haven't got a chance to talk to y'all about FEMA. You know, they're using the building right now. That's on our dollar. We're paying the utilities, we're paying for the dumpsters and all that.
Can I ask you a question? Why?
Well, because there's emergency in our community. And you ought to see the bills. I got to show you some of them today. They're paying the racetrack $98,000 for 7 days of meals for that facility. We don't want to get tied into any of that stuff that they're having to buy for, we're just paying utilities. We're good. That's our part. We're good.
How long are they gonna stay?
Actually, I hope they stay over 60 days because it's after 60 days and up, it's $100 a square foot. They'll pay us. I
Oh,
hope they stay as long as they would like.
they said, rumor mill had it 89 days.
Well,
Yeah, so they-
anything over, I believe it's 60, it could be 89.
I think it's 80.
It's free till then. If they decide to stay after that.
Is that why they hopped over here from over
Well, they
there?
hopped over here because the village had all of the events coming up that they already set up. They're
When
trying
they
to
get
get
for
ready.
89.
Ain't
So
what
that
people
building was
think?
empty so we could use it. But the village is, well, honestly, they are putting out, they're hemorrhaging money on it. I went to their council meeting earlier. They're like 1.9 million into this so far. Out of budget. And they're applying to be reimbursed, but it was just crazy when we were looking at that, $89,000 for 6 days of meals. I'm glad we're not on that. Mary's on me about too many dumpsters over there. I mean, she tries to keep it, cheap for us, but
Well, the day before they're gonna leave, get your guys go over that night, let the air out of their tires.
exactly.
Okay, counselors, what we got here? We're ready to go?
Mendoza Garden subdivision.
Yes, sir. That, I believe, Counselor Lacewell, maybe?
It is, yeah. So Friday I attended the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security Emergency Management meeting, and it was all kinds of good news. The state has provided a full service debris removal program that I think can benefit our people down in Rio Dosa Gardens. It's at no cost to private property owners. And the program can be provided either through full debris service from the home property or the curbside pickup of the stuff that you need to get rid of, and they know where to take it. It's a lot for a resident to decide, where am I gonna take this? Because I think you need to go to Roswell, you can take it yourself, but if you let the state do it, then it's at no cost to you, and they'll remove it, so that
Hard to move that much mud to pick up.
probably. The thing is, you have to sign that right to enter form, and I've seen that on paper, but I can't find it online.
Something,
Can you send me the link? Because every time I Google it, I get Maui.
it might save you a lot of money and time and take the pressure off of you. there's a couple of things in our neighborhood that got hit pretty hard that can be done for almost no cost. After the floods, the one part of that subdivision that has the bar ditch,
Mhm.
it fills up level full with mud, and they come in and they plow it out, and put the ditch back. But if they, what I call bar ditches, you maybe call them right of ways where you're from or whatever, when I was a kid, they were ditches. In the front of our property, our right of ways are as high or higher than the road. So, if you put a ditch in there and throw it in some culverts, and people that can't afford the culverts, maybe you can add $100 a month to their electric bill or something, or their gas bill or whatever.
we don't have any place for our slash.
Slash.
You gotta put that out.
Okay, Counselor Lacewell, go ahead.
Whatever.
So do you know how many, if, this is an impossible question. Do you know how many of your neighbors have signed the right of entry forms?
3 that I know of.
And how many, are like 30 houses down there or more?
About that, 30, 40.
Yeah, I
And
wanted,
then the only other thing there, well, there's 2 other things. Really. The other thing is that intersection, Joe Welch Drive and North Lane. North Lane, it goes uphill to get to the intersection. The one coming down off, from North Lane, it goes uphill to get to the intersection. One coming the other end goes uphill to get to the intersection. And then the only one is the Riverside that has the downhill. So all the water has to back up to run over this mountain before it can run downhill
yeah.
into the river. And I don't know. Take a water.
There's a steel gas line and a concrete water line that prevent it from being any deeper. That's the problem.
Oh, my gosh.
And so y'all are aware, I'm in the middle of applying for a Colonias grant. to
Well, I think that'd
address-
be a lot cheaper to have.
Address drainage.
If that's
Because
good.
there's no right of way easement to drain the water.
Well,
Oh, and the other thing, I said I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but Ronald Reagan said it best. Say, Gorbachev, tear down that damn wall.
Oh, the wall at the end of the.
The
All right.
hate wall.
Now these put that dirt piled up there that big and
Yeah.
Counselor Lacewell, let's go ahead and keep it moving.
Well, Kelly, can you forward me the link to get to that right away thing? I'd like to take my laptop in your neighborhood and knock on all the doors and see who wants to get signed up. Sure. I have a hard
You
time.
ready for that one? Because I got chewed out asking somebody that.
About the right of way?
Yep, she said, I already did it. They offered me $75 for a motel room and haven't contacted me since.
Well, and so that's another interesting thing is that FEMA has, come up with 50 homes.
Wall trying to protect them. Well, and what you were talking about, Jody, is the debris stuff. Me and Heath actually went to the people and talked to them personally. So if a contractor does it, they're not no picking it up. Contractor has to remove it, it's on your dime.
Right.
If a homeowner has a tractor or shovel, or 10 guys go out there and shovel it out to the right of way, they can call me, or Heath, and we can get a hold of King Industries, and they will send by a truck to pick it up.
Okay.
As of Friday afternoon, they had no one yet to do debris, trash. Like Ms. Williams has a pickup load in her front yard.
Mhm.
And I asked that question, and they said there's no one to do that yet. So,
Yeah, who do we call?
Well, it's out in the right of way. I mean, she's drug it out.
right, and that's what I'm trying, and that's kind of where I was gonna go with y'all later is, we have, 30 houses affected by flooding?
Mhm.
They can get the trash out by the road, and we can afford it. Why don't we just pick it up? Instead of dealing with what we're dealing with, because he's been at every meeting with me. Every single person tells us a different story when we go in there. FEMA says, nope, it's DHS. DHS says, no, it's this.
Whatever.
Oh, I got to go to the big meeting the other night with them. That's all they done.
That's it. So we just eat it and spend $20,000 and pick the stuff up and be done with it. I don't know what else to do.
Mr. Williams, what did you just say?
Were you talking about putting?
I said, whatever happened to the good humor, the good relationship we used to have with Green Tree.
We still do.
I
But
used to
they-
go down there and dump my trash and they'd say, hi, Mr. Williams, how you today? And I'd say, fine, okay, you're clear to go. And the last time we tried to go down there,
Green Tree does not accept anything from a fire or flood.
Okay.
Universal Waste will take you, but they'll charge you for it.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you get the state to pick it up, they'll take care of it. So, someone said, who do we call? You call Danielle Silva, and I've got her phone number right here. If your property needs help, need it inspected, and you need help, this is who you talk to, Danielle Silva.
We don't need help on our property. We just need it when we get it onto your property.
It's picked up.
As far as all the dirt and the
Push it
mud
on
and stuff,
down.
we're okay. But, yeah, like I said, we had 4 inches of mud in the front yard, but yes, I went ready to tractor.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. I think.
Joey, when you said 30 houses are affected, did it go in the houses or just in the yard?
Mr. Beck's in his house.
In the house.
At the very end, it probably ruined his house.
Just
He tried
one.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, they gotta pull everything from 4 feet down.
Nice guy too, you know, always kept his yard clean, never,
I didn't hear, I just
But
did.
that water, when it hit that wall, it didn't have no place to go.
doesn't have nowhere to go, but if you truthfully go walk it, about 3 houses up, it starts in the backyard and goes through there anyways.
I lived in Phoenix. I was wanting to put up a 6-foot wall around my back, and they said, you better not get 1 inch over a 6-foot wall because it's against the code. And I said, why is that? He said, because there's fire or something. Police can't get over the wall easy enough. It's gotta be down where they can jump. It was illegal in Phoenix.
And that's the problem with the walls. It's been there since like 85 or 20 something, whatever.
26 years.
And he's not gonna do anything with it. It's the fight we're gonna have to have, if that's the case.
One more thing, Mayor.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
State statute, 318(7) says, additional county and municipal powers, flood and mudslide hazard areas, floodplain permits, land use control jurisdiction agreement, gives counties and municipalities exclusive jurisdiction over floodplain permits issued under their floodplain ordinances. So is there anything we can do with that, Joey, to help with this?
That says it within issuing of an order, of permit.
The permits.
The permit's been issued for that fence for 35 years. There's nothing existing. I mean, that's something an attorney would have to say.
So we can't take it down.
No, that's private property. That's like criminal damage to property if I go over there and do something. It's gonna take attorneys in court to make that decision.
They have new floodplain designation though, about what, 4 years ago? How does that, does everything, is it grandfathered in currently
Yep.
and then any changes figure out?
It's grandfathered in existing.
Okay, so the next topic may kind of have some information on this topic here. So if we go to it, let's see if there's not some carryover. It's item F is discussion adding an ordinance to deal with the trash on empty lots.
So I talked to Green Tree about this problem, and she said everybody who owns a home pays for trash service.
If you have utility.
If we were to change our city ordinance to say everybody who owns a lot has to pay for trash service, then they could pick up or slash off those lots.
That's what the county does.
So that's something.
But you will lien a lot of properties. Because the liens are nothing. They don't mean nothing.
No,
I've seen that a bunch in the
I
valley.
go through them once a month, one for 3,000, one for 4,000.
And I was gonna suggest this is the area that Counselor Baber is, I'll still use the word volunteer, but he volunteered to take after I appointed him, he volunteered. But,
But it is.
here's some,
But we got a guy up on Wood Lane that has like 7 lots, but he only pays utilities for 1. There's a pile of brush as big as this room and they won't pick it up.
He won't.
Green Tree won't pick it up because it's on his lot and pays utilities for it. But he's cleared off all 7 of his lots and there's a pile of set aside. in the-
Plus, there's like 16 cubic feet limit, isn't there?
Yes.
But if we shove that out on the street, they'll have to pick it
It's
up.
on the street. They haven't picked it up for
They won't.
8 months because it's not on his property. Or not on his lot that pays utilities.
maybe Counselor Baber can find out this. I have a,
Look it up. Ryan Jenkins. You can call Crystal about it. I'm sure she's been called 100 times. The neighbor beside gets mad when it's a few.
anyway, I have a lot. And Counselor, if you can find out, years ago, they would not walk onto a vacant lot. Because I hauled mine off, but I had some in Here's what they told me. Lawsuits, we will not walk onto a lot that does not have a house or something on it. And that's what they told me. They were talking lawsuits and this kind of thing, if they won't do it. But maybe you can update us. Maybe things have changed since then.
I'll find out. When are we gonna get our truck?
As soon as the state gives me the money, we've been waiting. The state has to sell the bonds for that money. So once they sell the bonds, they'll send the money, usually end of October. Originally, I was gonna order a truck so I could get, spend every penny. I think now I may have to settle for a smaller truck that's already built somewhere,
Why?
so I can get a truck here, because if not, they're telling me over a year.
To build it?
So I may just have to settle for a smaller one like the village has or something. Because the one I actually spec'd out, like the big ones you see going by that are hauling right now,
Right,
I spec something like that, because if I'm gonna ask for free money, I might as well.
right. All them ones that tear out of California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for that kind of money, but if not, I'll get a smaller one and we'll make it work if I can just get something here.
And where would you take that stuff?
Right now, UWS, because we own Green Tree, but yet UWS charges us less than Green Tree does.
See, that's what I was gonna ask you too. Why are they hauling to Roswell when we're open over here?
Because the type of debris removal and that there's some kind of certain permits that each landfill has to have. And I know, Green Tree's
They've got a section.
landfill it says in the paperwork they can be used there, but they're all going to Roswell.
No, I know, that's what, Tanner told me, that's why I was asking. Because, the last meeting, they told me they've got it set up over there for it.
I know they were working on it, and it does say in the debris, we posted a new deal, I only did on like 7 pages about debris. It says on there which landfills, and they are on there.
Yeah,
One of the meetings that I attended at the EOC, they said that that particular type of toxic waste reduces the lifespan of a yard or whatever that is, by 30 years. So that's why it's real specific where you can take it.
it's all over these hills.
Yes. Counselor Proctor.
Why, okay, on these vacant lots that they won't touch or anything, you're getting the grafting truck in and everything. Why couldn't we charge the landowner for that vacant lot? You go in there, pick it up and haul it off, and then he gets charged for it. We put that in our ordinance.
That's what he was saying, that we got all these liens against people that, for doing the same thing, they won't pay it.
Well, eventually you'll end up owning a lot of property.
Yeah.
Then there you go for Economical Development Board. We got places.
It doesn't work, it doesn't work.
No,
Yeah.
that's very hard to
So
do.
what they do on these liens, so like WG, if you, or Councilor Baker, if you didn't pay yours, they'd put a lien on you for the trash, $20. Nothing ever happens unless he ever wants to sell that property. If he gives it to his kids and down the line, you don't ever get paid. So that it's tough. I agree. I mean, we could do something where we can pick it up.
But we're gonna have to wind up eating it.
Well, we're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Homes properties can be sold at, if they haven't paid their taxes.
Because that's taxes and they continue to go up every year.
Taxes are different from liens.
There, it is a lien, but the property taxes go up every year. So last year you paid 1,000, you didn't pay it, next year's another. So the amount goes up.
Right,
So
right.
If you do something like trash and water, you lien them for $500.
It stays there.
So it's just 500 forever. So nothing ever happens.
Well, what I'm saying is if it's not there year after year and they keep trashing it or whatever, doesn't it?
It doesn't increase.
But year after year, you charge them.
You should have to stop the service on utilities. You have to stop the service. You
But
cannot.
on the empty lots, that's what I'm thinking. On an empty lot,
Then you gotta come up with an ordinance where they can't.
Right. Which you could, I mean, it could be. an
we have
ordinance.
ordinances that say you're like P and Z, you have to keep your property in a certain, I know because the guy used to, he was my neighbor, so, and I was on P and Z for a while, so, yeah, you're supposed to do that. So I'm pretty sure eventually you could end up on your property and auction it off.
But it's like he's talking about, like, I won't say their names, but there's 2 or 3 towns that they won't pay their EGRTs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they
Right.
owe it, but they don't wanna pay it. And everybody is at like a stalemate.
Well, a $20 trash bill would be a lot of months before it equaled up to enough you could take it.
Right.
No, I agree.
I think we ought to charge the vacant lots because we do have a lot of people with vacant lots that They come up, they spend the week, they clean their lot up because Jim cited them about it. They clean it up, they pile it on the road, they drive away.
Exactly.
So then we gotta cite them back to court, pay the attorney more money to fight them.
And if you have it on a property that has a home on it, you turn their utilities off, right? That usually brings.
Well,
people right down
we
here.
turn off water and sewer, but trash is a whole nother
Well,
animal.
that'd be a big thing. If you turn people's water off because they didn't take care, I mean, that'd be bringing it, they'd be down here. Which I don't think you can do it with child.
Right, well, but on a, yes, you can. We don't follow, we don't have to follow PRC law. Sorry, I battled that.
Right.
COVID, Artesia forgave everybody's bill,
Yeah.
and now they got people with $300,000 water bills that can't pay it.
Mm.
And so we went to the PRC and they said, we do not sanction municipalities. You follow your own ordinances, your own laws. That kept us out of that situation.
If you do that.
People tried to get us to do it. You do a small, like I don't know if you want to charge them a normal trash fee of $26 a month. If there's no trash can or, you know, if they're just brush, maybe there's a amount, $5 a month or something. I know. I talked to Crystal down there and last year the city of Reynosa down produced about $16,000 worth of trees that were hauled off. That's what it cost Green Tree to get rid of that stuff. So, you know, you figure that up or. But when we've talked about this before, and I know Councilor Lacewell was here, Green Tree will tell you that basically the tree service is just part of the bill. They're not gonna remove it. There's no amount that they know to remove. So you're still gonna pay that amount whether you fired them from picking up trees or not. You're still gonna pay.
Counselor Proctor.
What happened to the deal here I don't think it was last summer or the beginning of this year, that they were supposed to go around and pick up all these
They did.
lots and stuff,
They did.
charge $275 a truckload.
They did.
They got it all, yeah.
But it's not the vacant lots, I guess.
I think
No,
this
no,
was,
actually, I think they picked up
Was.
Did they?
everything.
Did they? Yeah.
But that was a one-time deal, and Crystal said that was supposed to be a break even for them, and it wasn't. They went in the hole on that, and she's not gonna offer that
Green
again.
Tree used to dispose of their own trees.
Yeah.
There was a guy that mulched them and did this and that. Now he doesn't do that no more. He's not in business. So they're actually getting it, and paying the double the same. Price.
Right.
Yes, like I,
We can go there as a private citizen, to have it cheaper. I know that.
the city can go there and we're the ones that own the business. You can dump it cheaper. That's been like that for years.
Maybe we should just do it then.
But if you do, you're still paying the same trash bill that you pay right now. And the city's gonna be on the hook for probably, I'm gonna guess, $16,000 to $20,000 a year to dispose of it. If she's saying 16 is what it was costing her, I'm gonna guess she was right, add a couple more because to pick it up properly, like we would, my guys already know, we're gonna go down around one day a week. I'm gonna send a guy around just to drive and pick up whatever's out every week.
Is
We
that
got
just,
more trash this year. We got more.
is that mattresses or trees?
No, districts.
Just,
We cannot get into picking up the trash. We did that before. Code enforcement picked it up and that turned into. Cause you know, they wouldn't put it out there and it ain't fair for them, but then this guy throws everything in his wheelbarrow out there and.
well, they charged me $10 to take a TV down there.
So,
there's certain stuff on household items,
Yeah.
because they worked the deal and you gotta come by here, right? And then the girls will go out there and look at it and then call them and tell them, yes, you can take it, or no, you gotta charge them.
And that's the same
That's how
for the
that-
county. We did that because people that don't pay their bills, we're still dumping and costing the city money.
Right.
If you go down, you live in the county, go in there and try to dump, they're gonna look on the list to make sure you paid your bill on time.
Yeah.
Cause that was, we had a problem with contractors and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that.
Judy, can you get like when we do the village cleanup, can there be a grant for large items or anything? I mean, is there?
Well-
enough money?
We have the dumpsters,
Yeah,
Everything can go in those dumpsters.
everything.
Tires gotta go in one.
And that was full, Joey, the last time, except that they put the metal and stuff over on the side.
Well, we put the metal into our scrap pile
Okay.
just to save room, so.
It would have been full if we wouldn't have put a lot of stuff on the side. And the tires was full, and I believe the household one was too.
You can always fill the tire.
And this, we're planning our next cleanup, Joey, but we're just gonna have a tire one. Okay.
We're only gonna do one tire one a year. Yeah, we can't keep.
Well, we have one at,
Cause that cost a bunch.
well, we have a dumpster for the fall cleanup. Okay.
Joy, do you think there's merit then in an ordinance change to charge for empty lots?
Well, you either go through the efforts and do an ordinance and charge for it, or you direct chief to make code enforcement hammer down on these people. You know, no free pass, you're going, that's the only other option we've got. Because we do have piles in multiple places that have been dumped. But then you run into, well, I didn't dump it there, pretty much dumped it there. We know how that goes.
It doesn't matter, it's on your property though, it's your responsibility, right?
I wish everybody felt the way you do. I'm
Okay.
with you, Beth, I'm with you.
Change the country.
Okay, counselors, if, for these individual problems, I suggest that you talk to our representative with Green Tree. He'll straighten them up. So,
Gee.
have we overlapped here, guys? Y'all help me out. F and G, maybe we've,
It was kind of together.
Well, she's a little bit different. So, right now, Green Tree is, they've agreed to pick up / 4 times a year, and they only do it February, May, August, November. And so that means the February and the November one are in the winter, and we need, really it'd be better if we moved it. So Crystal said she'd be happy to pick the four pickups during the
She'll pick
month.
up whenever you want.
Well, no, she
If you
wants-
pick up on the 4 deal.
She wants to know, they need to know what she suggested between March and October, do the 4 pickups between March and October. And leave the February and November ones out. So still 4 pickups, but just compressed into
I guess I can pick up the rest.
March and
Well,
October.
it's up to you. You know when you need it more than
You
me.
do need it more in the spring.
Okay.
But the problem is the people will cut it. They will come by, they see the truck pick it up, they start cutting more, and so then it's sitting there for 3 months.
Right.
That's what.
Cause they're just picking up that one time.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what. So I think if every other month or something through the spring and early summer,
Yeah. She said that it's a contract right now for the 4 months that they have, but to change it from March to October, she said WG could do that.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
but it's a contract, but there's no amount in that contract that says what the amount they'll pick up and how much they charge us for it.
Well, it's part.
Well,
of
there
the-
is a charge for it. Yeah, there is.
Because we've offered before to do away with Green Tree picking it up, and we'll do. Remove that off the customer's bill, and they said they couldn't, they don't know how much it is. It's kind of.
Cause Underwood okayed it the last time.
It's kind of like a free deal because you get trash picked up.
Comes to the meetings. This is just a work.
See, did you see me bite my tongue? I was gonna say something smart. No, but yeah,
I'd really like to take $5 off of every bill and put it in ours, and we'll pick it up and leave them out of it, but.
That's a thought.
We'll wait till you get your truck.
Yeah, I honestly believe we can do a better job. Because I would take it to UWS, and the last time I talked to UWS, they basically told us that if it's got a little bit of trash in it, who cares, pick it up, we'll push it off the landfill pile. Where Green Tree sends letters every single day, I get them. Jim, there's a Coke bottle in this pile, we're not picking it up,
Paper plate.
they might start playing a little nicer now.
I don't know.
There's a
They've been trying to get better.
few things that happened.
Well, they're picking up this month. And if we move to this new thing between March and October, they could pick up this month and pick up in October. And then not pick up again until March.
That or make it simple.
November
where Green
through
Tree drives
February.
around, when their guys are out dumping their trash trucks, they can say, oh, we need to pick up, or we don't need to pick up. Leave it up to them to keep the town clean 4 months a year. Because if you do it too often, then they're gonna go out there and they're gonna pick up 5 piles or 10 piles, and that's it. Where their trash truck drivers that drive every single road every Monday can say, no, we can pick up, there's a bunch of piles.
Let them make the call.
They're out there.
They're out there, they know more than, any of us, because
Yeah,
they're
but
out
if you
there.
got a Wayone driving one of the trucks and he don't wanna go back and get it, then you're in trouble.
I don't know.
They just noted.
Well, I had a big old slash pile, and then the flood came. And before I knew anything, I pulled all the stuff out of the things and put it, and I made sure that all the natural stuff stayed on that pile, and I threw the other stuff in the back of my pickup. And now I can't get rid of anything.
I can tell you one thing, somebody was asking me about the recycling stuff. I don't know what y'all do with your paper that you shred, but it's worth $3,000 a ton if you bag it.
Where can we sell it?
Right down there,
Don't we?
yes,
They buy it or they
Yes.
just come pick it up?
no, they buy it, yeah.
I don't think we accumulate 3 tons, like, we don't have to for the store.
I'm just throwing it out there, girls.
That's a.
Okay, we pretty much need to move on a little bit.
H,
Do we?
I think we're so broke that we can't pay
trash bill.
our electric bill. It seems like it's getting awfully hot in here. I don't know if the air conditioning is going.
Maybe it's too low like that one next door.
Did the unit just go
But I
up?
can stay there and pick it up.
Mayor, I have a question. So, to change this, is this something we need to vote on at a different meeting to change the months of pickup? Or can he just go down and do it?
Y'all just tell me what months and I'll change it.
March to October.
March through October.
Well, we've got good representation now. I think we need to use it as much as we can with.
March to October.
4 times a year though.
Yeah, 4 times between March and October.
And Joey said he could take care of it.
Well, he doesn't have a truck yet.
Oh, I know,
Might have to borrow Pam's pickup truck.
November through,
And that's 6 months. Which months do you want them picked up?
They can ask her, 'cause she had a
Yeah.
plan. She said it would be handy for me if it was between March and October, 4 times between March and October. So let's ask her.
and if there's fire
Summer
danger in the
being-
area, they should make sure it's picked up then.
Fire danger is more so
Yeah,
in the summertime.
Yeah.
Spring.
People cut their stuff or the spring, put it out there to pick it up. Those months in the summertime, I think.
I did see on the news, though, they're extending our fire danger month all the way through October of this year. But that's okay, because if we pick up in October.
October. Yeah, that takes you.
Okay, so Mayor, I'm done with that one.
Okay, we'll go to the next topic, item H, counselors. Is discussion on a memorandum of understanding between Southeastern New Mexico Development District and the city of Rio Downs. Joey usually can give you,
I mean, this time,
not you.
it's chief's job.
Is this the one that wants $1,000 to join their association?
Mayor, members of council. Yes, it's a part of, it's an every year fee. We have to do it. When you're not fiscally responsible with your audits and they're late and you apply for a grant, the state comes back and says, you will have a fiscal agent. These are part of the people that are our fiscal. This ain't the fee that pays them, but this is being part of the membership. They help you with economic development. They help you write grants. They help you with tons of stuff.
Is this the COG?
Yes.
Okay.
Jeanette uses them for like the economic development. There's lots of stuff they benefit us for.
Yeah, the next topic also, I've asked Joey about that in the past, that if we really needed it, counselor, and I've been assured that we really do.
And that costs us, what, 1,000?
It's 1,000 or 1,500. I don't.
1,000.
1,000.
Like the police, the next one they have is their New Mexico Grow Grant. You gotta be a member of this because they're gonna do the grow stuff and help them. Pay for it. It's worth doing. They're good. The cause good.
So Mayor, is this something we can just put on the consent agenda for the next meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
We will do that.
Make it simple.
Callie, will you remember to do that, please?
Discussion.
So, yeah, Joey has been pretty much our representative to even the next one, isn't it? It's your,
I'm the vice president. Unfortunately.
there you
You'd
go.
have been there with the voted you in.
Mayor, do we have life insurance on Mr. Global?
Yes.
for the city.
Yeah, but we have not covered him if it's not accidental. If it's intentional, you know.
I even tried to get out of being chairman on this.
Doesn't work, huh?
So am I stupid? I needed crayons to write and he still wouldn't.
Well, he's smart and he's also lovable with the women, so that's how he gets those positions.
He's special.
Yes. So, are we saying, this and the next item Beg your pardon?
Letter J.
We
did-
still need to keep these, or, you know, you need to talk about the grower.
Oh, I thought you said that it was a good deal.
The membership is what we have to be a member of, but the next item is the resolution authorizing it.
And that can't be done.
I'm sorry, where am I? Hang on, let me make sure.
Aye.
So yes.
Discussion on approval of resolution 2024-18, a resolution authorizing the membership and agreement with Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District Council of Governments.
You just said.
That's- And that's the one you're vice president of, Joey?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Okay, same,
The memorandum of understanding, I misspoke.
Okay, they're both-
On the Grow stuff, it's saying you're gonna allow them to help.
Right.
The New Mexico program.
Or you'll help them.
Yeah,
Vice
we'll work it out.
And
Okay.
we've been with them for many years.
So if we put that on the agenda for the end of the month.
You shouldn't need it.
And that's what I was saying. If we put it on the consent agenda, if we all understand what we're doing and just put it on consent agenda, then it gets approved.
Yep.
Yeah.
we're okay with that.
Jay.
Ally?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe now then, Jay, correct?
Yes, sir.
Discussion on a transfer of $150,000 from the emergency fund to a line item to be used for the flooding disaster. I think, Counselor, you already had.
Why?
I knew that was coming.
So the 150,000 is the amount we have currently in our emergency disaster. Every year it goes 50,000, we try to increase it. We need to move that money to cover, we got guys working all day long, working 3, 6, 9, 12, 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, checking pumps at the racetrack. I bought Jersey barriers, I put up in the park to protect from flood for over $20,000. So this money will be transferred over to cover overtime, anything that anybody needs, fire department, to cover stuff that we're having to use for the emergency, so it's not our budget. You know, my sewer budget's almost completely gone for overtime because these guys are having to babysit 2 pumps that are running the sewage from one side of the track to the other to keep them going up the river. So that's why we did this. If we need anything, if I need to buy the sandbags or anything else, this covers that amount.
Joey, at this meeting I was at Friday with the Homeland Security, she said that she had just approved the National Guard moving over to the track and somebody else had requested it. Not- You did it.
We're working the night shift for my guys.
Okay.
My guys are still working Saturdays and Sundays. You have to check the pumps every 3 hours and stick your arm up in there and pull out whatever was in the sewer that clogged it. So it's a nasty job. You know, I gotta buy gloves, I gotta buy different things.
So we don't pay them,
No.
just your guys.
Correct,
Okay. And your guys get to go to bed now?
yes.
Because I met one of your guys who said he just.
They're pretty tired and cranky because they've been doing it for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks. and,
Yeah.
You know,
How much is in this fund?
150,000.
You want it all transferred
It
out?
all transferred over. What we don't use, we'll put back. But if we don't, then there's
All
nowhere else.
right, Joey and Ally and I guess Mary, but don't we have to have a certain amount?
Use my whole
In that
budget for
fund?
Material supplies just to buy them just last week.
And you don't have to keep nothing in that
I
fund?
remember.
Just to keep
This
us
is our
all?
reserve.
$1,000 a year in it.
But I did hear something that I'd like to see next year, council can do that. You know, we're meant to keep a 1.8%.
That's
Yes.
what,
As well.
That's what I was asking
The
about.
village adopted a deal and they're doing it, they're keeping 2/8. So what is that, 1/4%? Because they got burned so bad in the 08 flood,
right.
you know. Eventually it'd be nice if we could move that reserve up a little bit to keep us in a better spot.
So,
Because you guys, you know, we've met with FEMA many times. He's met with me, we've met with FEMA. We do have bridge problems. They're nothing major, but there's like Freedom Bloom, we're gonna have to dig 10 foot out. Down about 10 foot, put Gabion baskets and then pour the slurry because it's washed out the abutments. I had a structural engineer come check them. They're all safe, but it's something we're gonna have to do. FEMA will give you 75% of that cost. The other 25 is up to us, which the governor gave the $100 million, $70 million. We're all gonna try to apply for a percentage of that, but we're still gonna be on the hook for 8.5%. So this is where we're gonna have to use some of this and, you know, scrape and claw to find more money to cover some of these things.
so I guess my question is, why don't we leave part of it in there and take part of it
But
out?
I'll be back next week asking for more money.
Even if we leave 25 grand in there?
If you guys give me it, we'll give it back. It's just simpler that way.
Can't you charge the racetrack for that?
No.
They don't pay us anything.
We need. They
No,
need
they
to
don't.
I don't believe. the
Sure they do.
decisions-
Do
you get anything
I
back?
don't think we make mistakes.
From
Well, so
FEMA
so how
on
that works, like, so FEMA works on a reimbursement side. So even that bridge, say that bridge, we're gonna do it in-house, it ain't gonna cost us much, but if I did what FEMA wanted, on the contractor, there's $300,000 to fix that bridge. We have to pay them up front. We pay for the job, then FEMA reimburses 75%. So this 150 ain't gonna do much, but it will, like for that, I can buy my concrete, I can buy my Gabion baskets out of this, and we're not spending that. Riverside Park, we're looking at between 200,000 and 600,000 to fix Riverside. You know, it's got 1.5 foot of mud across the entire thing, and it took out the sprinkler system, it took out a sewage lift pump. It killed everything but the bathrooms. And the reason the bathrooms made it was,
They're on a hill.
they told me I couldn't build in the floodplain, so we built the hill and built it on top of the hill.
Built it up on the hill.
So it made it, but everything else is,
So FEMA.
So you just want all the money?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will move it over, because we may have to come back later and ask for infrastructure money to move into this stuff.
Good.
I don't think 150 is gonna do it.
No.
You know, I mean, but there is other places and things like, we have infrastructure money, but if I dip into that, there's no grants to do the other stuff.
Okay, there was some, you wasn't at that meeting the other night out there, but there's a lot of money floating around in different deals besides FEMA, because FEMA, as far as I'm concerned, they ain't nothing. After what we heard from them the other night, no.
A lot of talking, no.
They do, I sat on the village's, committee for all the JUP projects. Some of those are 11 million, 14 million. They're from 08 and they still haven't been paid for,
Yeah.
reimbursed for.
Oh, boy.
You know, so they will eventually, but FEMA gives the money to the state. And the state micromanages it with Homeland Security to us. So like most places that have these disasters, literally hire a person that does nothing but deal with FEMA. Like Redoso has 2 or 3 different sub-consultants that they're doing the paperwork with FEMA. We can't afford that. We're gonna do our best and get help and we'll make it through. But
Councilor
we're
Baker,
gonna end up being, my initial estimate's under $1 million. I had to give FEMA initial estimate of damages that occurred on city property and we're a little bit under.
Now, let me ask you this, Joey, is that gonna cover the racetrack?
No, I have nothing to do with the racetrack. The racetrack is private property. We have,
What about the, where the water's coming under before it hits them first culverts?
that's private property.
That's private too.
None of that belongs to us.
In that meeting the other day, they did say that that's my. Get them a fix to go crazy.
You're not gonna go down on it.
You need to know.
No, but what they said that I think I heard Harlan stipulate that the racetrack was awarded $10 million just for what was damaged because the river runs through there. So they're asking us for help. I got a call to ask if I could call in for help to them. I'm having hell of a time helping the city.
Tomorrow is the first meeting for a throwdown between funding sources and the.
Right.
They wanted me to show up. The only thing the racetrack's got help with right now is truthfully, Spaghetti Flats has 1 entrance, 1 exit. If that bridge washes out, nobody can get out.
Mhm.
The racetrack has always been a bypass if we had to get people out.
To get it, but now they can't get
So
out.
me and John signed a deal saying, yes, one of their exits would be a bypass for Spaghetti Flats. That's all we've said. But tomorrow is supposed to be a big meeting with FEMA, John Moon, Harlan, I think is gonna be there because he's supposed to be a third about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's pretty mad at some of them guys.
Well, but we all gotta remember, I mean, it's horrible, but you chose to build your house there.
Right, no, I hear you.
I would have loved to live on the river, but I was scared of that river, so I built on a hill.
Right.
You know, I mean, we gotta help each other out, but we can't just put all of our eggs to one business. It's gotta be fair across, you know, they're no different than Shane Garner's pastures. I mean, where he has stuff, I mean, they're staying equal still.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, I'm good.
I love the horses.
Is all the money that's supposed to come from the federal government, does it flow through FEMA?
A lot of it does.
Like the one something, was it 1.2 billion or what were your comments?
You can have $1 million house fall down and they'll give you 42.5.
So, but,
Well,
Good lucky.
and it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
but they're not saying that goes for everything, like the 70 million they're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, it's 70 million been dedicated to this.
70 million is not much.
But it's the village, Mescalero, Mora, all the places up top.
Yeah.
Captain.
Yeah,
We all gotta split that 70.
Yep.
which-
they got 3 billion.
And they named
They
where,
got
who it
3
went
billion,
to.
and only
on
1.2
that.
has been,
I think I, did I say that to you? And I
and that's
thought-
3 years later. They're still willing.
They are, but it's because they can't. But it's like us, they asked me to give them a cost to fix the house. That's not what I give you the cost. Like tomorrow, we ruin what I say. I'm not giving you the cost. of
Right, so
disaster
that's-
recovery.
that's-
I thought we were gonna get it today.
Like that. Yeah, and then,
I'm not giving. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think we're doing individual conversations. Good meeting, guys, and shall we adjourn?
Okay.
We're adjourned.
I gotta go unload it.